Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to show you how I made these adorable little baskets that are perfect for Easter. You can put, little Easter eggs, little candies, even little gifts in them. But I'm sad to say I made this video before Valentine's Day, and there wasn't a single Easter candy or Easter egg or anything available for me to put in these, but I think you get the idea anyway. And in my video, I'm not only going to show you how to make the baskets, but I'm going to talk to you about a couple of different ways to make the handles. I'm going to show you how to make cute little bows that you can, put on them. And I'm going to show you how I made these absolutely little adorable bunny embellishments. Those are die cuts from a cutting die from Inlovearts. And you're just going to get to see all of this. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to be using my Creative Craft Products paper trimmer and a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. You can use scrapbook paper if you would like. I like to use cardstock because it's a little bit sturdier. And our first cut is going to be 1 1/4 inches by 11 inches. So we've got that. We're going to set that aside. And now I'm going to turn this and open up my paper trimmer here, and I'm going to cut this to 9.5 inches. Okay, and let me double check my measurements. Yes, 9.5 inches. So let me get it right there. All right, and we'll cut that off. And this piece you can save. You might be able to use it for something else. But now we're going to turn this back so that it is 9.5 inches this direction. And we are going to cut 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 inches. So let's just do that. And while I'm doing this, I will let you know that like I said, you can do this with scrapbook paper. It works really well. I have done it with printer paper. But if you want it to last a little bit longer, if you want the person getting it to, be able to save it, then I would do it with cardstock. So just give me 1 second here because we are down to our last piece of that 1 1/4 inches. And now we need a piece that is 3/4 of an inch. And I like that my Creative Craft Products also measures this direction above because it actually makes it easier when I'm doing something small like 3/4 of an inch. So there is one, and you don't need a second one, but I am going to show you with another basket how you would use a second piece. So you have this left over in case you want to cut a second piece that is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, we have all of our pieces cut, and this longest piece right here is going to be the rim of the basket. And so on one end, and this is optional, but on one end you can round the corners, and I'm doing that with my Creative Craft Products corner rounder. So let me just get that in there and round the corners, and you will see why later. And like I said, that is optional. Another thing that is optional is this piece right here, the 3/4 inch piece, is going to be the handle. And if you want to make that shorter or longer, that is totally up to you. This next step is totally optional and will depend on the color that you make your basket, but I want to ink the edges of this one, and I'm going to be using ground espresso distress ink because it is the only brown that I actually have at this moment. Pretty soon I will replace all of my distress inks that I lost, but for now this is what I have, and I'm just going to go along the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see, that it just kind of has more of a organic look to it. And the reason I like to do this on some of them, especially when I'm doing it with some sort of a brown or beige or, basket color, is just to give it, a little depth, make it look more basket-like. So I'm going to do that to all of these pieces, and then I will be back and we can start putting things together. Okay, I've got all the pieces inked, and I'm going to set the handle aside for a minute, and we're just going to work with these pieces. So you want everything face down because you're going to be working from the back side. So I've turned everything over. Now, if you haven't inked your edges or you don't have a pattern on your paper, it's probably not going to matter. All right, now, if you rounded the end, leave that end to one side, and we're going to start on the opposite end. And what we're going to do is just add some glue and add a strip. Let's see if I can get this more over here for you. Okay, whoops. I should have put a craft mat underneath me because I just got glue on there. Okay, and we're going to continue like that. So adding some glue, adding a strip. And remember, everything is face down. We're working from the back side. So once I get all of these on, then we're going to get to where it's a little bit more complicated, kind of a little bit more fiddly, I guess you would say. And you will see that here in a second. But so far, this is real easy, right? And actually, the whole thing is real easy. So let me get that on there. And you want them next to each other. You don't want them overlapping, and you don't want big spaces in between, okay? Because the other ends are going to have to fit over here in a minute, okay? So we just want everything together like so. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to wrap it around, and we're going to go in about a ½ inch or about the center. So this is what I'm talking about. We're going to bring that around, and we're going to attach it just like that. So right about the halfway point right there. You don't want to go further than that, or you're going to run out of room for putting the other pieces on. So let me bring this around like so. Okay, and I'm just going to hold this for a minute just to make sure that everything stays in place, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to start the next step, and it may be difficult for you to see on camera, but I'm going to do my best. So we are going to take the glue, and it doesn't matter whether I start here or whether I start here, but we're going to start on the side that doesn't have any pieces on it yet. We're going to add some glue. Now, I just put glue on this side, so I'm going to grab the opposite one, okay? And I'm going to bring that around and stick that in there like so, okay? Now, because I went that direction, my next one I'm going to do on this side. We're just going to be switching sides back and forth because it's going to help, so that these aren't going the same direction, that they'll look more crisscrossed. So I just did that side. So now I'm going to put glue on this side. Now this is where it gets a little bit difficult to show you, and it's going to start getting a little bit fiddly. But now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to bring it over and stick it on that side like so. So as you can see, they're crossing on the bottom. You can do it where you have two going the same direction and two going the same direction, but that's kind of not the way I like to do it. So make sure that everything is lined up, that your piece is, well, let me see if I can get it there, lined up, not coming over the top of the brim of the basket here, the edge of the basket. Okay, So we've got those two done, and there I am already having one piece. There we go. Okay, so now I just did that side, so now I'm coming over to the opposite side again and adding my glue right in there. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this piece and I'm going to stick it in there and try to make sure I stay on camera to do this in the frame there. I mean, not on camera, I'm obviously on camera, but just lining it up. See if you could see inside there. See how everything is just lining up all the way around? Okay, that's what we want to do. Keeping the basket all lined up. Okay. All right, so we now have, get that in there, one more space right there and one more piece right here. And you're going to have to, before I even put the glue in, I'm just going to show you here. So now you have to figure out how to get that in. So you're going to have to work it in like that to glue it in, okay? Because we've kind of run out of room here. And by the way, you can adjust all of your little basket pieces. Okay, so let me add my glue right here. And I'm going to work that. I just stuck my fingers in the glue, guys. Just thought I'd let you know. I should have put the glue on after I worked this through, because now I have glue all over my finger. And I don't want to get it all over this. So let me work this up in there. Ah! I really don't want to touch it with glue on my fingers. Okay. I've got it in. Got it straightened. Okay, I've got to go get the glue off my fingers and I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, the basket's all put together, but it's kind of wobbly. There is a way around that by flattening the bottom, and I'm going to show you. So this is what I like to do. So I've got a piece of, I forgot what box this was, a food box of some sort. And it works best with like a 2.5 inch circle. Mine is 2 3/4 because that was the size I had. And if you don't have, you know, a die cutting machine, find something round that you can trace, and then you can just kind of cut around it. But this is how I'm going to do it. So we're just going to run this through. And then, of course, you know, you're not going to like it with the writing on the bottom. Obviously, you know, you're going to want to cover that up. And so I'm just going to take a piece of the same cardstock that I've been using to make that basket. And I am going to cut out a couple of circles. And while I'm doing this, I'll also let you know that I only put these on the inside of my baskets, but I do know that some people like to put it, you know, get it in the camera there, put one on the outside as well, but I don't do that. So I'll show you here in a second exactly what I do, but I'm cutting out 2 circles so that I could cover the top and bottom of that piece that I just cut out. And so it's going to be pretty sturdy, and it's probably sturdy enough if you just used the cardstock without using the food box, but I just like using the food box. So let me move this out of the way and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, I'm just going to glue these pieces on top of this just to, you know, camouflage it, because like I said, you don't want the writing to show. And you could just do it with the one piece over the top of it like this, because no one's really going to see the bottom, so it's going to be down there. But I've already cut 2 pieces, so I'm just going to go ahead and use them both. But I just wanted to point out that you don't have to, as long as the bottom, you know, kind of looks like this. Of course, again, it depends on what color your basket is, because if you were doing a white basket or a pink basket or something, you know, you might want to cover both sides. So as you can see, I have both sides covered, and this is just going to fit down inside of there. So I will just put some glue here on one side, like so. And before I put that in there, I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to show you why. Okay. So kind of squish your basket, you know, get it kind of shaped, and drop this right down in the center. And now you're going to see why I wanted my glue bottle closed, because I'm using my glue bottle to kind of press everything into place. And, you know, you want to make sure that everything looks centered. So I'm going to do this for a minute, and then I will come right back. Okay, so I've got that piece in there, and it still wobbles a little bit. And I have a suggestion for that, actually. As you can see, all of these, you know, pieces are separate, and if they were glued together, but it's kind of hard to glue it together while you're doing it. It's kind of hard to glue it together afterwards. But, you know, if you can get your glue down in there and just put a little drop, you know, in a couple of places, like so, and then do this again, where you're just pressing it down, and that will probably help. Okay, so when I come back, we're going to be putting the handle on. Okay, so to put the handle on, we're going to start on this side, the side where they overlap. And we're just going to put some glue right here on the inside of that area. And we're going to take the handle, obviously if you had it inked or anything, that goes on the outside, and we're just going to stick it right inside there, like so. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So just add a little bit of glue over there. Bring that down and stick it right there on the inside, like so. And there we have a handle. Okay? And there are some things you can do if you wanted to. So let me give you a couple of ideas while I'm sitting here holding this. You can always use brads to attach that. You know, put a brad on each side, and then the handle can move. You can do what I'm going to show you here in a second, which is just adding a little, like an enamel dot or something on the outside, just to kind of give it a little look as if the handles are attached that way. So let me grab something here really quick. Let me put this to the side, and I'm going to be using my enamel dots from Not Too Shabby, and we're just going to use a couple of those. So let me get this opened up here and pulled out, and I think I'm going to use the two largest ones right here in the center. So I'm just going to stick it right in the middle of that. Well, hopefully in the middle of that. Get back here. Okay, close enough. Just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So let me grab that and get that right about in the middle as well. Okay. And it has that on either side, and that's really cute. And then, of course, you can always decorate them, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to grab it over here really quick. Come here, little guys. I have these cute little bunnies right here, and I'm going to show you how I made those, and then I'm going to use those to decorate. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to be decorating my basket using the Coca Rosa Cute Bunny Head Cutting Dies from Inlovearts. And each one has two pieces, a bottom layer and a top layer, and they are so stinking cute. So I'm going to be cutting out all three, and I am using two different colors of pink cardstock, which is why I'm not cutting the bottom layers all at once. And then for the top layer, I'm cutting all of those out of white cardstock because I want them to be white bunny rabbits. But I think they would be just as cute if they were pink bunny rabbits or gray bunny rabbits or whatever color you wanted to use. And so here I'm just showing you how each set looks after it's been cut and then how it looks after it's been layered. And I wanted to show you something funny. The one cutting die actually has the name Emma that it cuts out. So I guess it's an added bonus if you know an Emma to give it to, but I won't be using that. And to glue the layers together, I used my Zig two-way glue pen. And next, I'm using my Creative Craft Products stamp platform because I want to stamp Happy Easter on one of them, and my Happy Easter stamp is too long. So I'm having to do some selective stamping. I'm lining up the word happy where I want it and taping off the word Easter. And then once I ink it up, I remove the tape and then stamp it. And it's really important to clean the stamps in between each of these steps. So once I get the stamp all cleaned off, I'll repeat that process, but this time I'm lining up the word Easter and taping off the word happy. Of course, I could have always cut my stamp in half to separate those words, but I know that I'm going to want to use those words together someday. So, really important. Always remember to remove the washi tape or post-it after you ink the stamp, because if you don't, the ink that got on the tape will get on whatever you're stamping. And trust me, I know this from personal experience. And look how perfect that turned out. I think these are just so adorable. You know, whether you leave them just the way they are, or you stamp inside of it, or like with this one right here, if you saved that die cut piece, you can always color that to look like an Easter egg and then just paper piece it right back in there. Or you could even, die cut this over some pattern paper and paper piece that right in there. So there's options. And also, I think these would make adorable tags or cute additions to a card. Or you can put them on something like the little Easter baskets that I just made, which is what I'm going to do. And here is my finished basket, and it is ready to have Easter grass or tissue paper put in there and whatever treat or little gift you'd like to put in it. So I just think these are like the cutest little baskets, perfect not just for Easter, actually for anything in the spring. It would just be so cute. So don't go anywhere, because now I'm going to show you how to do the handle a different way and also how to make a cardstock bow. Okay, so here's another basket I made. This one is white and I didn't ink the edges or anything. And I also haven't put a handle on yet because I wanted to show you an alternative way. So to start off with, instead of the handle being 9.5 inches, it is only 8.5 inches, so that you can see that you can make a shorter handle. And what I've done is I've cut another layer here, and this is 1.25 inches by 8.5 inches, and I did scalloped edge on it. You can always use a decorative punch or decorative scissors to do this, or actual real lace if you would like to do that. That would be really pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the handles and I'm going to be gluing them right across the middle like that. And I'm going to do the same thing front and back. And you don't have to do it front and back, but it's just kind of for the look, I guess, and the sturdiness. And honestly, you don't even have to put this part on if you just wanted to use something like that. But I'm going to see if I can do this without making a mess, trying to get it centered without glue getting everywhere I don't want it. Okay. So there we go. And I'm going to glue the other one on the other side. And then we're going to glue it right in there just like a handle. Just like we did the other one. And then you can see what it looks like with a shorter handle. And this of course makes it a wider handle and decorative and multicolored and my point is that, you know, there are different options for doing this. You don't have to do it exactly the way that I'm doing it. This would even look pretty with, you know, a piece of ribbon going down the center, or hold on, I have a piece of scrap here. There you go. It would look, you know, pretty with a piece of ribbon down the center if you wanted to do that. So many possibilities. And because I don't want this slip sliding all over the place, well, I don't know, maybe it could work. One thing I didn't do with the other handle, but I'm going to do with this one because it's so thick, is I'm just going to try to curve it a little bit before I actually put it in. Okay, just to kind of help it out a little bit. Alright, so again, I'm going to find the side. There we go. That's where the two pieces went together. And so I'm going to just put some glue there. And put the handle in. Like so. And do the same thing on the opposite side. And I should have waited until that one dried. But not a problem, because now I'm just going to hold them both in place. So, give me a minute and I will be right back. Well, actually they're holding pretty good now. Okay, so get that up. So there you go. There it is with a shorter handle. Let me grab the other one really quick. Whoops. And you know, there it is with a longer handle. And so just so you can see the difference and the difference in the thickness. So there's a variety, like I said, and that's what I like to show you guys, is there's more than one way to do something. Now I'm going to show you how to make a bow. Okay, so this is the kind of bow that I'm going to show you how to make, and it's very cute and very easy. And I'm going to be doing that with this purple cardstock that originally was 8.5 inches by 1 inch, but I cut it down so that this is 5.5 inches, and you're going to need both pieces. And I'm also going to be using my Creative Craft Products punch. It does corner rounding on one side and it does notches on this side, and we're going to be using the notches. So the first thing you need to do is figure out where the center is. You can measure it. The center will be 2 3/4, or you can eyeball it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this, which is going to take me a minute, but I think that's about right. Punched a notch. I'm going to turn it around, and I don't know if you can see that, but I can match those notches up so that, you know, that notch is centered right there, and punch it. Now that's what we have so far. Now we're going to come down to the end. Oops, hold on a second here. Okay, now we're going to come down to the end, and I'm putting that edge right by the edge of this, and punch. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, and this time I'm going to line those notches up just like I did before so that they are centered together. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Okay, let me see here, trade hands again. Lining that up right there on the end and punching, and then lining it up on this side and lining up the notches this time and punching. Okay, and now before I put that away, I'm going to grab this piece. And now we're going to do this on the end, okay? And so you want to center it the best you can on that end, and that creates the tail of the ribbon. So we're going to do the same thing on this end. And now we have done all of our punching, so let me get that out of the way. And I had to grab my scissors here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this end off. I'm going to leave a little space there, so you're going to see, hold on a second. See, I'm leaving that little nub right there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just cut that off and leave a little nub right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to use my finger to curve it, kind of like we did with the handle on the on that last basket that I did. Okay, so we're just going to curve it. It makes it easier to work with. Okay, and now next you can either use glue or glue dots, and I prefer to use glue dots, and these are the minis. So let me grab it out really quick here, and I'm just going to grab up one of those dots, and then I'm going to carefully glue that down right on that other centerpiece. Remember where that notch was? We're going to glue it there and kind of do our best to match it up. Okay, and let me grab another dot, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just want it to match up there in the center, like so. And this is what it looks like. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put one of the dots. Oh, look, I finally got rid of what I was trying to hide. There's more dots. It was just that I had a whole bunch on this outside piece by mistake. So there's a dot right there. And I'm just going to put that right, whoops, not on that side, you're not. Right on the center of the back side. Look, I'm trying to see here what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got a glue dot there, and whoops, oh my gosh, I almost made a huge mistake. Sorry about that. Let's get this back again because we also have to put a notch in the center of this. So line it up. And it's really easy with this. As you can see, it comes right to the edges on either side. And so I'm just going to give it a notch there, turn it around, line that up, and give it a notch. Woo! That was a close one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so see where the curves are there, the little notches? They're going to match up with the notches on this. And you just put it right on there. Get it on there really good, and you have a bow. Now you could cut a skinny piece to wrap around this if you want, or you can put something like a gem or a pearl in the middle of that. It is totally up to you, but that is how easy it is to make a bow just using, you know, a punch that does notches, which, like I said, mine is Creative Craft Products, and I love it because I have the corner rounder on one side and the notch maker on the other side. So there you go. That is super cute, super easy. And now it's time for me to finish decorating this. And here is this little basket finished. And I just love these cute little bunny rabbits with the Easter eggs and stuff. I mean, they're adorable. Just look at these. So many possibilities, perfect for these baskets, perfect for cards, perfect for tags, but I just love it, and that's what I put on here. I actually used foam tape and popped it up a little bit and added some flowers. Those are from Recollections from Michaels. And then the little dot that I put on the side of this one, put it on both sides and right up here on top of that bow. Those are enamel dots I made myself, and if you missed my video on how to do that, I will put a link right up here on the screen so you can check that out. So there we go. We have that basket and this basket. And I also wanted to point out, as I had said before, that you can make it out of paper, and this one was just made out of printer paper. And it works just fine if you don't have cardstock to use, or if you want to use, you know, a patterned scrapbook paper. It will work. They're a little bit flimsier, but it still works. So at the end of this video, I have some nice pictures of those baskets, but first I wanted to show you that I also made these 3 adorable cards using that Inlovearts Cute Bunny Head Cutting Die Set and a mini one-sheet wonder card sketch from LV Handcrafted, and I'll put a link below in the description box to her video. Thank you all so much for stopping by today. I hope that my directions are easy enough to follow, and I'll have links below in the description box to that absolutely adorable Inlovearts cutting die set, as well as a 25% off discount code to Inlovearts. And I'll also have links to the Creative Craft products, punch, and stamp platform that I used from Craft Stash. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.